So yeah, really playing some television catch up here, but come on. You guys didn't think I was gonna skip out on talking about season 2 of The Last of Us, did you? Come on. The best video game adaptation of anything? Yeah, I was definitely gonna check this out and talk about it with you guys once I got through it. But season 2 of this HBO smash success picks up 5 years after the events of the first season. Joel and Ellie, once again played by Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey respectively, are now living in a community in Jackson, Wyoming, which is run by Joel's brother Tommy, played by Gabriel Luna. And without digging too deep into spoilers, which honestly, if you've seen the series, especially if you've played The Last of Us Part 2, you kind of know a good chunk of what's going down here. This adapts a good chunk of the first part of that video game. It's exploring the strained relationship between Ellie and Joel as she grapples with Joel's lie about the Fireflies and their potential cure for the fungal pandemic. And I gotta tell ya, the character analysis, the deep dive into both Ellie and Joel, just as it was in the video game, which is still critically acclaimed, and for that matter, one of the best video games of the new generation, especially when COVID hit, everybody was talking about The Last of Us Part 2. It was a phenomenal game. So yeah, naturally season 2 was going to be massively hyped. And let me tell you, the creators Neil Druckmann, Craig Mazin, they should be damn proud of themselves. Because once again, this series is remaining so faithful to the video games that they're based off of. With a lot of the shot composition basically recreating what you see on the polygon screen. And yeah, there are some subtle changes, especially in terms of character circumstances, where certain characters are when certain things happen. But that's a crux of the changes, and as far as story goes, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Now yes, especially thinking about the How to Train Your Dragon remake, which came out last month, I'm sounding like a gigantic hypocrite. Because you might be wondering, why am I critically praising the fact that The Last of Us is doing shot for shot from the video game, but I'm criticizing when the remake of How to Train Your Dragon does it? It's because How to Train Your Dragon was already in the movie medium. The Last of Us has never been told in movie or television form. Video games are a completely different form of entertainment. I admittedly suck at video games, a good chunk of them. So the fact that some people might be looking at this, and it's not my first time seeing The Last of Us story, but a good chunk of people who don't play video games are seeing this story play out for the first time. That's why I don't necessarily have a problem with this being shot for shot. Especially also considering the fact that Craig Mazin and Neil Druckmann, the developers of the video games, they are directly involved in the development of this series. And unlike How to Train Your Dragon, this is made for television. It's not really looking at a money grab. It's not really looking for that box office pull to really up the stock of the studio. It's just looking to pay tribute to one of the greatest duos of video games that's ever been put out. And holy cow, a lot of these cutscenes and how they're shot, the cinematography is gorgeous in this thing. A lot of the POVs that you get, a lot of the action, it feels like you're in a video game here. And this season is exciting, and there are 2 certain episodes that will rip your heart to shreds. Specifically to point out episodes 2 and 6. Whew. You better have some Kleenex prepared over here because you will be bawling your eyes out. You will think it's not fair, certain things that happen to these characters. And I'm being nice. I'm being super vague about it, just in case you've never seen The Last of Us or don't know what I'm referring to. But the inciting incident of part 2 of the video game, what sets a certain character out on a path of revenge, like you want to see this person succeed, but at the same time, you understand why the villains do what they do. Every single character is so well realized and so well acted. Bella Ramsey is a highlight in this once again. And I thought they were magnificent in the first season as Ellie. I think they are only upping their stock here, because Ellie is put through the ringer in season 2. And they sell all of the emotional story beats that Ellie has beautifully. And there's a lot of great relationships that are set up, new relationships that is, especially with the character of Dina, who's played by Isabella Merced. Some of you might remember her being Dora in that Dora the Explorer live action movie. And man, it seems like so much time has passed since then, because that movie was not very good. But she was a highlight in that movie, and I can tell you that she is definitely a highlight here as well. Also, shout out to Gabriel Luna, who plays the character of Tommy. He's got a lot going on as well, especially being the brother of Joel, who once again, need I say more, this is Pedro Pascal playing Joel once again, and he is a highlight. busiest man in Hollywood, no doubt. How this man is able to fit a leading role into his schedule in a critically acclaimed television show like this, when he's already doing The Mandalorian, when he's playing Mr. Fantastic, this guy's freaking everywhere. And once again, the scenes that he is sharing with Ellie when the truth is being revealed about why Joel did what he did to the Fireflies, why the Fireflies became a thing. Some of the most masterful acting I've seen in any TV show. Let alone a video game adaptation. This is some of the best television acting I've seen, period. This is Emmy worthy. And yeah, speaking of deep diving character analysis, let's talk about the character of Abby, who's played by the immaculate Kaitlyn Dever. She was a great discovery over the past decade or so. Oh my God, you despise this girl. But again, you understand why Abby is going through the things that she is, and you understand why she does the things that she does. And you understand why Abby is such a valuable asset to the villainous group in here, as it's related to us by the legendary Jeffrey Wright, who reprises his role of Isaac from the video game. And man, again, the fact that this show is able to get big stars like Jeffrey Wright, hell, even Josh Peck stops in for a cup of coffee, that tells you the appeal of just being on a show like The Last of Us when you see recognizable faces like that just pop up seemingly out of nowhere. And again, it's really, really cool that Jeffrey Wright stepped in to reprise the same role that he voiced in the game. Speaking of big names, you also got to talk about Catherine O'Hara, who plays the therapist of Joel. This show has a lot of very heavy shit going on. Catherine O'Hara brings a lot of comic relief here, which is very much needed, especially when you consider everything that the characters are going through. But even with the comic relief, Catherine O'Hara as Gale is still supremely interesting. She's got a lot of stuff going on, a lot of hatred built towards a certain character for very valid reasons. And again, I feel like I have no notes for this series. Great technicals, great practicals, great makeup on these zombies here, on the infected, if you will. The character motivations and the deep dive into the analysis of why these characters are the way they are. It is just gripping, which is exactly what you need in a television show like this that is binge-worthy. It makes you want to keep going. It makes you want, even though these episodes are an hour long apiece, or roughly, I didn't want to stop watching it. Even though Lindsay and I were watching it together right here, and it was time for us to go to bed, I was like, ugh, one more. I think we can do one more. And let me also address this. I am very, very glad that this season ended on a cliffhanger, which I don't necessarily think it's a spoiler. This season was only adapting part of The Last of Us Part 2, which means that more is coming. And I am glad that they are not rushing through something as pivotal as Part 2 was, especially in terms of video game storytelling. I'm glad that they're not pushing all of that meaty story stuff in one season. I'm glad that they're really letting all of these events simmer with us. And I'm so happy that Druckmann and Mazin keep us wanting to come back for more. And let me tell you, once Season 3 releases, you bet your ass I am watching it from start to finish once it comes out. This is without a doubt one of my favorite shows on television right now. This is 2 for 2 on perfection when it comes to video game adaptations. This is the benchmark. If anybody has a video game that they want to adapt into the movie or film medium, this is what you should aspire to be like. I'm going to give The Last of Us Season 2 an A+. Yes, even though there's a lot of tragic stuff that goes down, and you may not want to rewatch Season 2 for all it's worth because you'll be pissed off at some of the stuff you see, you can't deny objectively how marvelous this show is. Let me know what you think. Have you guys binged through Season 2 yet? Are you guys excited to check out Season 3? What are some other video game adaptations that you would like to see done? I'm still waiting on a Red Dead Redemption TV series. Please. But hit that subscribe button if you're new. Tap on that thumbs up as well if you please. If you want to see more from me. If you want to join a great community of geeks talking all things movies and entertainment. This is a great community to become a part of. Thank you all so much again for your continued support. Y'all are the best. And with all that being said, Back Talk, commence.